Hey everyone, so I'm doing something a little bit different for this channel. I know this is the first time I've actually talked on on one of my videos. At this point, I'm not entirely sure if they're all gonna be like this. I know I'm taking a big risk with doing a gameplay video, and if it turns out it doesn't work out, I might just put these on my drawing videos. That way, they just won't be silent and requiring the viewer to add music to it. If I sound a little frustrated, it is just nerves, and I know I haven't done this before, so bear with me, please. So what you guys see on your screen should be Marvel Heroes. If not, I might end up switching it up to Infinite Crisis. Pretty much the topic of this video. I know the Superman Batman film title was just released. Basically, what this video is going to be about is my thoughts on that. For a title, it doesn't sound all that bad. I know a lot of people have been saying that it sounds like a court case. Um, to me, it actually sounds more like a Super Sentai crossover film where the verses is just a placeholder, and it doesn't really essentially mean that they're going to be fighting the entire film. It just means that they're going to have maybe one or two little bouts, but then they're going to end up working together, which I'm sure is going to happen in this film. But I'm sure what we all expect, especially when they first advertised it, they used that line from, I believe it's The Dark Knight Returns. But I think a lot of fans, comic book fans, see that as where Frank Miller sort of started going off the deep end when it comes to his writing. So to me, that sort of says that this film, even though it was originally supposed to be a Superman film, a Man of Steel sequel, that it's just going to end up being another ode to Batman, especially if it's going to be based off of Frank Miller's writing. Um, I feel that we're not going to get, what we should be getting in actual proper Man of Steel sequel. When it comes to the Man of Steel, I really didn't care for some of the stuff that they did with it. I know the audience is really mixed when it comes to that film. Um, I thought it was a decent film. I kind of liked it, but what they did with some of the characters, I really didn't care for it. I didn't like the back and forth. It kind of took away from the story for me. Going to as opposed to starting with Clark's childhood and then moving on. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, it's been done, but I think it made the more sense to do it that way rather than to do it the way they did in the film, just jumping back and forth between the present and the past. Um, One thing I didn't like about the flashbacks was how Jonathan Kent didn't want how Clark and Jonathan had that talk about after the uh, the school bus accident. And of course, the one thing that everybody brings up about their criticisms with this film is um, when Clark asks his dad if he have let all those kids die, and Jonathan says maybe he should have. Um, I didn't care for it, especially when uh, Jonathan's supposed to be where Clark gets his sense of morality from, and I know it was supposed to be realistic in a sense, being that the father wants to protect his son. He doesn't want to expose his son to the world. He doesn't want anyone to find out about Clark's abilities. But by hiding him there and not having him find a better purpose with his abilities, it sort of takes away from the story that everybody knows about Superman, that everybody grew up with about Superman. Um, and me personally, it kind of made me think that Jonathan was a bit of an asshole. Um, Sorry to say, that's my views on it. Uh, Everything else, I think from that point on, after Jonathan's death, I felt that it was a decent film. The one place where I didn't really care for after that was just the ending. Um, I know I've seen some reviews and some people say that it didn't make sense for Zod to have his powers instantly, and then it took years for Clark to get his. I think it kind of does, considering Zod, at the time of him showing up on Earth, he's already a fully matured Kryptonian, whereas Clark grew up on Earth. So it does make sense that, you know, Zod got his powers instantly, whereas Clark had to, grow up and get them, through puberty. Um, but what I feel is that maybe with Zod getting his powers, um, I feel that it should have, messed with his mind a bit. It should have done something to change his outlook, kind of like how they did it in the All Star Superman animated film, where Lex ends up getting all of Superman's powers, and he sees the world as Superman sees it, and it changes his outlook, and it changes his mind a bit. I feel that if Zod had experienced something like that and pushed, his plans to the point where he might have endangered his own men, it would have been a better ending had um one of Zod's men had been the one to, to actually kill him and have Clark, because I believe that ending was supposed to be like a learning experience, was supposed to knock Superman down a peg. He was supposed to learn from it. He was supposed to mature from it. He was supposed to realize that sometimes stuff happens, and either you have to prevent it or you have to cause it. If it's for the greater good, if it's to protect people. Um, I feel that had had it been one of Zod's men to be the one to kill him, it would have been a bigger humbling experience. It would have been a bigger learning experience if Clark had failed to prevent Zod's death rather than cause it. Um, me personally, I would have saved that for maybe Darkseid or Doomsday. Somebody else other than Zod. Um, other than that, Man of Steel was a decent film in my opinion. I liked it. I hated it. It's it's one of those films you just pop in and just enjoy your day. Pretty much is my opinion of the film, despite the drastic changes made to some characters, uh, and the change from the entire continuity that they made in wherever they made those changes. When it comes to Batman versus Superman, some of the things I like that they released so far, of course, is the new Batsuit. What can I say about it that hasn't already been said? It does look like it's out of the comic books. I've been waiting to see a black and gray Batsuit pretty much since, I think since back in the 90s when they released, when they did Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, the Nolan movie. Of course, it's gonna look like the Frank Miller Batsuit, but it also kind of looks like the New 52 Batsuit. Um, I really do enjoy it. I really hope that this movie does good. I know they're gonna make some changes to the continuity. Of course, they're gonna do that. Um, I feel that they should stick as close to the source material as possible, not just this is Superman. He's the last of his kind. He was born on Earth, or he was raised on Earth, and he took in our values, and now he fights for the greater good. This is Batman. He lost his parents when he was 8 years old, and since then he's been on a never-ending quest to prevent another 8-year-old child from losing their parents. Um, I want to see some real solid Superman storylines. I want to see Superman Doomsday. I want to see all the other Supermen come out. I want to see, you know, um, all the stuff with Batman. I actually want to see Robin. I'm probably one of the only few who wants to see Batman and his sons, and just to have the entire Bat family in this. I would really enjoy it if they're gonna do it proper and they're gonna set up a cinematic universe, similar to what Disney and Marvel are doing. Then I really would like to see the Bat family, not just some stand-in. Even though Joseph Gordon-Levitt was pretty good in Dark Knight Rises, he pretty much was a stand-in for Robin. I think we can all agree on that. Um, and I would actually like to see an actual Dick Grayson. I would like to see Tim Drake, Jason Todd. Definitely got to have a live-action Jason Todd type of storyline. As the years go on. Um, Even Stephanie Brown, I wouldn't mind seeing Spoiler, become Robin in this and then become Batgirl. I'm not sure how much of that we're gonna get set up in Batman vs Superman. I know they're going towards Justice League right now. Um, when it comes to all those Justice League cameos, I'm actually hoping they save it for the end. Like you see all these different heroes show up, to a voiceover conversation with between Clark and Bruce about about the other heroes, about their kind, coming out of the shadows and taking justice into their own hands or whatever they have to do, whatever message they're trying to convey with this film. The the things I really would like to see would be, you know, they were talking about going back to Zod's death. They were talking about it being a humbling experience, a learning experience for Superman. Um, I feel that if they had done a solid Man of Steel sequel, we would be able to get that. We would see, Clark having to deal with his actions concerning Zod, having to deal with, the government not trusting him, and that uh, distrust with Superman might show up in the Batman. Of course, it's going to show up in the Batman versus Superman film, but I feel um, the repercussions of Superman killing Zod might not be as evident in Batman vs Superman as it would be in a Man of Steel sequel. Uh, am I excited for this film? Yes. Do I expect it to meet all my expectations? No, I don't. Um, do I welcome whatever changes to the continuity they might bring up? If they do it right. Um, I didn't like what Nolan did with Bane. As I watched it, the Dark Knight Rises, I didn't care for it, but as I saw the movie, I can see, where they made the appropriate changes and how it fit within the film. And then they just threw it out of the water when they gave Bane's origins to Talia al Ghul. I'm hoping they don't do if they whatever changes they make in the continuity for Batman vs Superman. I'm hoping they don't do that. You know, do drastic changes in continuity and then just giving it to somebody else. Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex. I don't know. It might work. It might not. To me, his origins kind of sound like Lionel Luthor's from Smallville. I'm not too familiar with the character within comic books, so that the origins might stay the same, but it does sound like Lionel Luthor from Smallville. Being raised in the slums and then working his way up. I just hope his character gets developed over time and he ends up becoming the true villain that Lex is, as opposed to being just a stand-in, kind of how they've been treating comic book villains recently. Just you know you think this is the villain? Nope. At the end, it turns out to be somebody else. Other than that, again, I apologize if this sounds a little rushed. If I sound nervous, this is my first time doing something like this. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as as much as it was. Hope you guys actually understood what I was saying. Um, if you guys liked it, please feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. I might do more of these, as time goes on. They might be gameplay videos depending on how things work out. They might end up being uh, straight up drawing videos. As it I'm not much of a teacher, as it were, when it comes to art. So, this beats, doing a tutorial. If it's talking about something I appreciate, talking about my feelings about towards something I appreciate, as opposed to saying, draw this shape, make this shape look something, look like something else. Um, there are plenty of other YouTubers that do really great tutorials on here, and if this is the best way I can, reach out to my subscribers, then so be it. I welcome it. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you guys again.